Hi, and welcome to McLane Middleton Minutes. I'm your host, Hanna May, and I'm a first-year associate here at McLane Middleton. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode where we discuss and learn about agritourism law. It's that time of year again when New Hampshire farms welcome visitors to pick out the perfect Christmas tree. And this follows a very busy season here in New Hampshire where visitors come to apple pick and see pumpkin patches. What is agritourism, legally speaking? Let's look at the New Hampshire statute NHRSA 21:34-A, where it defines agritourism as a way to attract visitors to a farm to attend events or activities that are accessory uses of the primary farm operation. The statute lists the following examples as what falls under the definition of agritourism. However, it's important to note that the statute does not limit what falls under agritourism to just these examples, in case a farm owner is planning to do an activity which isn't explicitly listed in the statute.
The statute then lists the following examples of activities which may qualify as agritourism. Those are being provided a meal, making overnight stays, enjoyment of the farm environment, education, which can be instruction or learning about the farm's operations, or active involvement in the activities of the farm.
Agritourism might be a flourishing business, but it is not without its legal hiccups, such as issues with zoning ordinances and complaints from neighbors. I have the wonderful opportunity to speak with land use expert attorney Ellen Arnold about what issues face farm owners when they decide to engage in agritourism.
The opposition to those kinds of effort usually involve the impacts that come from more intense use of property. So the usual suspects are noise and traffic and public safety kinds of concerns. So all of a sudden, neighbors of a beautiful farm where there are events every weekend and lots more people coming to the property tend to not be happy about that change in use.
How do zoning ordinances impact farm owners who would like to host agritourism events?
There are lots of tools in the toolbox for municipalities, but under the rubric that essentially they can't prevent agritourism, but they do have the ability to try to manage its impacts.
If a farm owner encounters any issues with hosting an agritourism event, what are certain steps that they would be able to take, like petitioning a planning board or a zoning board, speaking to an attorney?
Piece of advice that I most frequently give to land development clients and would suggest to anybody who's thinking about a change in use of their property is to make sure that they've reached out to municipal authorities, that they have been cooperative and probably talked to neighbors, not only because it lets people know what they're going to do and hopefully that diminishes surprises that you don't ever want to encounter along the way, but it also gives an applicant an opportunity to understand where there are concerns and issues and address them before they get into a public process where once it's out of control and you're on the defensive, it's a much harder task.
To learn more about this topic, please tune in to our McLane Middleton podcast, McLane Middleton Minutes. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode and learning about agritourism law with a first-year associate.